Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bassing TV, and I want to talk to you about something I get a lot of questions about, I get a lot of comments about, and it's one of those things that even when I go fishing with other anglers, they often question why I do what I do, and that's why do I fish braided line almost exclusively. I still use monofilament in some limited applications, like when it's cold water and I'm worming. I still use straight fluorocarbon when I'm doing cold water jerk baiting, or if I'm trying to sink some, sink a Senko into really deep water. It helps and it aids with, the sinking through the water, especially lighter line. And sometimes I go to straight fluoro and fish in ultra clear, super clear water. But for the most part, I'm fishing braid. I've been kayak fishing so long that I don't know if I specifically fish braid because it's advantageous to me in a kayak, or if it's something that I would have evolved doing, if I had the ability to set the hook like a guy from a boat does. So let me just tell you why I use braid, what I use it for, and actually I use it for everything. But let me tell you why I use braid for everything, and then you guys can comment below, tell me what you think, and maybe you can change my mind about it. For the most part, the main reason that I use braid is, with the rare exception of when you're anchored in a fishing kayak, if you're fishing and you set the hook on a fish, for the most part, when you set the hook, you're turning the fish towards you and you're pulling yourself towards the fish. So if you have line that has stretch in it, you're amplifying and you're magnifying that effect by the fish and the angler getting closer together and the line having stretch in it. So one of the main reasons that I fish braid is that when I set the hook and I try to keep up with the fish and keep a bend in my rod so that it's advantage Chad, not advantage fish, is I don't want the line to stretch, okay? I also like the abrasive resistiveness of braid, and I like the fact that I can get more line on the spool, strength to strength, apples being apples with braid than I can with fluorocarbon or monofilament, and so that's an advantage for me in a kayak. But the biggest reason is, like I said, when I set the hook, it closes the gap. That closes the gap and puts slack in the line in certain instances. So if you have that happening and you have stretch in the line, you have a hard time catching up to the fish even with a high-speed reel, and that's going to put you at a disadvantage, and it's going to cause you to lose a lot of fish. So if you're a kayak angler and you're using monofilament and you're setting the hook and the fish are running at you and you're trying to catch up, your rod straightens out and they throw the hook on you, going to braided line might just be the answer to getting rid of that frustration and preventing you from losing those fish. So consider using braid almost exclusively for everything when it comes to being a kayak angler, with those few exceptions that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and I think you'll have more success, you'll catch more fish, you'll feel more bites, and all of the advantages. I always tie almost always, when I'm frog fishing or throwing a big jig in heavy wood, I'll go straight braid. I darken the leader with a Sharpie, but for the most part, I always tie in a fluorocarbon or monofilament leader. I almost always use the all-bright knot, my version of the all-bright knot with the 3/2 hitches and the little tuft that acts as a strike indicator at the beginning. I'll link that video up in the description box so you can see how that works. And I just recently reshot that video and we're going to release that soon. And once that happens, I'll link that up in the description box as well. But tie a leader. It'll give you a little bit of stretch. It'll give you a place for the line to break. If you hang up with really heavy braid in 20 foot of water, it's almost impossible to break the line, and it becomes problematic. So I do like to have that break point in there if I need it. It really, monofilament or fluorocarbon come over wood a lot better. They come through cover a lot better than braid does. Braid kind of acts like a little survival saw. It digs in and it causes hang up sometimes. So I get a lot better abrasive resistance by using the leader, and it makes it easier for me to retie that leader and not have to constantly chop my braid back. And so when that first 6 feet or 5 feet or whatever your length from your reel handle up to the tip, I'll link that up in the description box below. My choosing the right leader linked video, I'll put that in the description box, because that is important so that you don't run it through the guides and end up with a bad spot in the line or memory or whatever. But you can still reel it in and out if you use the all-bright knot. The way that I tie it comes through clean, it comes through easy, and it casts really well. So the case that I'm making is that use braided line if you're a kayak angler, and it will increase your hookups, it'll increase your sensitivity and feel, it will definitely increase your contact with the lure, and you get rid of stretch. So with the fish closing on the boat closing on the fish, I feel like the braid puts the advantage in your favor big time. Hopefully that's something you may have never thought of, or maybe you've made the full switch to braid and didn't realize it, or you're watching this video and going, dude, that makes perfect sense. Thanks for the tip. Hopefully you guys like this kind of video. I'm going to keep these coming. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to smash that little bell over there. Turn on the notifications so you know every time I release a video. The more subscribers that watch the videos, the better we're gonna do here, and the better we're gonna do here, the more information we can bring to you guys. Christy and I are getting out for a bunch of videos here this summer. Some night fishing stuff, some unique stuff, some really in-depth product and lure reviews that I think you guys are gonna dig. Implementing some 360-degree footage, some underwater footage, and some stuff to make it really cool, and a lot more drone stuff to kind of show you the lay of the land, and some really in-depth electronics tutorials and things like that. So if you guys like this kind of video, don't forget to comment below. Let me know you like it by hitting that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and if you have, don't forget to turn on the notifications so you know when I release a new video. We'll see you next time on Kayak Bassing TV.